What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video, and we're here for it, guys. We're all here for it. The redemption arc. None other than our boy Woo, the nature boy, JINCHUL. Speaking of the devil, oh my god, there he is. There is the Terminator himself, the god, the king. Now, you guys remember this, right? I hope you remember this. If you don't, I'm going to refresh your memories right now. A couple days ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, JINCHUL made it to your TV screens or your mobile phones or your computers. Look at him. Look at that handsome son of a bitch. Look at him. He was here. He was talking to Zaf and Hunter on Hive, and he remembers, and I remember because I rewatched this episode. I can't believe I missed it walking a dog. But I remember when JINCHUL told everybody he was just coming back from soloing hard mode Vulcan. How did he know? How did he know the Vulcan was going to be weak against wind? We'll never find out, I guess, huh? How did he know that he was going to be able to solo him? Something else we'll never find out, because I don't think he's ever going to come back to our screens ever again. I think that was it for JINCHUL. He came, he saw, he conquered, he blessed us, guys. So, with that being said, our boy is now buffed. When we're talking about buffed, I mean buffed, okay? We're going to talk about why he has now become one of the best breakers in the game and actually become a pivotal part of any win team, and why he's being used by everybody at this point. We went from the meme to the $1 million dream, baby. That's right. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk all about JINCHUL, how to use him, what's the best setup, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so he's a character that everybody gets for free. So nobody can say you don't have him. Unless you haven't logged in for 7 days and you're brand new, then that's the only way. But there you guys go. Woo JINCHUL. We have ourselves his weapon, which, naughty, naughty, naughty. Some of you guys were melting. Daddy Payne's been telling you, stop melting your damn SSRs unless they're these water shade, like the little spray guns, forget those, melt those. But this you keep. And here's the reason why. Okay, we're gonna start off with this weapon. So, another level. That's perfect way to name him, as a matter of fact. Another level now. The user attacks ignores 2% of the target's defense. When mediation of power is used, it increases the damage dealt to the target by 5% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, so giving you 15% more damage. When the enemy enters the break state, all team members' wind damage increases by 4%, excluding the wind user. So the further you get this up, guys, the stronger this becomes, essentially, right? So if you look at it here, right, you can see it goes up to 5%, then it goes up to 6%, 7, 8, 9. Right? Oh, sorry. Even further. Not 7, 8, 9. 8, and then 12. It just takes a massive jump, just kind of like him with his buff. Right? So everything here gets amplified. Look at this. Damage dealt is even increased by 20% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. 60% more damage, and now he's killing it. So you actually want to get this weapon built up, and you want dupes of it because it is that powerful. All right? Now let's talk about his skills and his artifacts. So we'll start off with the artifacts first. You want the full piece of AP's greed set. No question about it, okay? Because number one, it enhances his break abilities. Number two, he'll amplify his crit and crit damage for the whole team, including himself. And then also he'll do more break damage, of course, by 30% to the opponent if they're weak against wind. Very, very strong. This is the best set. If you don't have this, Solid Analysis, Executioner, probably the best one to go with. If not, the connection one, or one of the newer ones, which I have to test, by the way, so give me time to get those out. But I believe the wind one would be nice for him. So the set here the set I'm referring to, guys, I'm gonna just go to it real quick. It is in the new instances, and it's going to be I believe this, no, not this one. This one here, okay? So when the user uses their QTE support skills or ultimate skills, it increases the users and their team's elemental weakness damage by 5%, and then this will increase to 60 seconds instead of 30 seconds, and also does 3 stacks of this instance. So very, very strong skill to have, especially if you do his QTE 3 times in a row. That'll amplify everyone's wind damage in this case, or whatever elemental weakness you plan to use, by 15% for 60 seconds. So very, very strong. So this is actually might be one of his better sets as well too, just to push more wind damage, including the weapon obviously in break state, right? So this is not a bad option for him. Of course, the outstanding connection is always going to work really well for him. Viri you could use, but really he's not there for DPS, so I don't recommend it. And then this 70% MP one, I don't recommend that one either. I think it's not worth it for him. And then of course the Executioner set, which works really well. So with that being said, let's go back to him for a second and talk about his skills, right? The skills are now actually really, really good. So you guys can see I've got level 1 attack, and that's fine. I gotta up all these because I'm all out of, like, if you look here, I don't have any scrolls. I have actually a couple left now, so I do have to amplify this a little bit. But his skills now are much better. So he's got break damage across the board now with his basic attack. He's got core damage now where he gives him super armor, and he has the ability to stun, which is incredible. Stops so many different moves from going through. His new meditation of power is great. Gives him super armor as well. 2+ amplifies his damage whenever he does it. When the user uses skill, it grants a shield now of 2% of his full defense to the whole team, stacking up to 3 times, by the way, and it's for 20 seconds, so pretty damn good. Now he's providing shield, and this is good for all content, by the way. POD, regular story, you name it, he's pretty much good for everything for all win teams. We got Iron Fist, which also does give you an extra dash, plus does medium break and gives him super armor. And then his this is actually one of the best supports in the game, always has been. Gives 2 instances of dash for Jinnu. His QTE comes in, does medium break, and then his ultimate here just does massive amounts of damage. And then these are his passives, right? I only have him at A0, we all get him at A0, but when the user dashes, it increases the damage of Suppress, Mediation, Power, and Iron Fist, so essentially all of these skills right there, by 30% for 6 seconds and grants them super armor, and it decreases the cooldown of dash by 1 second. Mediation of Power skill effect changes to break being 100% more. You can stack up to 3 times, so very, very strong. Mediation power is this one, by the way, right here. You get 2 stacks of it. And then we have the user's defense penetration increases by 10% at A2. A3, when the user uses dash, extreme evasion, or judgment, it decreases the cooldown of mediation of power. Again, this skill here in Iron Fist by 2 seconds, this one over here, and activates the user's core attack right there, right? When the user uses judgment, it activates the user's basic passive and enhances the effect. The user damage increase effect enhances to 35% instead of, I believe, 30 it was, right? Yeah, 35 to 30, and increases duration to 7 seconds rather than 6 seconds. So an extra second. Very, very important advancement for him. A3, all right? A4, wind damage increases by 16%. Then A5, when the user uses their basic attack 4 times right there, it activates their tier 3 passive, which is this. And then when the user uses mediation power, it increases their defense by 5%, stacking up to 12 damn times. So very, very powerful now. So nothing to be trifled with. And he is going to be now the all-star breaker for you, pretty much for any Ints or Encore dungeon that you plan to do that is related to this Scorching Dungeon boss right here. I would show you guys gameplay, so I will in a second. Let me go to my live stream from today, and I'll show you guys the gameplay from that in 1 second. All right, guys, so here's the team setup here. We're going to do the tier 5 version of this on free-to-play. Okay, we're going to use Wu for breaking, Miri, and Alicia. No, Alicia doesn't have this much power. So I'm 415 versus 400-ish, right? So this is the tier 5 where legendary things start dropping. Again, this is from my live stream this morning. You guys will see here how Wu pretty much is here to tackle. Now, the way you want to tackle this fight, you want to quickly dodge here. But you'll see here, a dash gives him a shield, the damage increase with his mediation, and then you go into Iron Fist, and you just start breaking. Every attack here now does a break, which is fantastic for him, and he builds them really fast. Plus, not to mention, his attacks will also reset one of his attacks. The Iron Fist, I believe, resets his dash, and the mediation here just keeps increasing his damage increase and skill damage increase as well too, giving him a lot of firepower now, plus break it. So you can see how quickly he broke there, right? And right here you bring in Miri, and at this point it's just all about DPS. Now he's no slouch, right? He still does fairly decent DPS, so you do want to build him with defense as your main component, defense percentage and additional defense as much as we possibly can stack that. Give him crit rate, give him crit damage, and he's just going to go gangbusters. He'll do a lot of damage, plus he's going to break really quickly. If you're out of the red, especially, and the elemental weakness is there, he's going to break even faster. He has now probably become, I'd say, 3rd or 4th best breaker in the game, which is a lot, which is really, really good. From being a meme, again, to $1 million dream, right? But you guys can see here, Miri's doing all the work for DPS. This is the free-to-play guide that I'm releasing to you guys anyways, coming out tomorrow. And I'll walk you through it anyways. Alicia here is actually doing 50% less damage. There's the cam. We got a golem cam, folks. So you guys can see here, she's there to just do as much damage as she possibly can. And then the golem himself, we're going to switch into Wu very shortly. Let me just go faster here. We're just going to fast forward just a tad bit. You're going to see here, he's going to QTE in right there. Right now, if you had the extra, see that he comes in with the damage and a shield when he does the mediation. If you had the new rings, the Peridot rings, that would have increased him even further because the QTE would have boosted elemental weakness and allowing Miri to do even more damage, right? So very, very important to remember that. So there you guys go. That's essentially it. He's going to be the premier windbreaker for quite some time. He might be the premier windbreaker for all wind content going forward. He's also just an incredible breaker in general. So even if it's wind or not, you might want to consider using him just because of his weapon and everything else that he offers. Definitely worth getting up, guys. This is the best buff I've seen on a character so far from Netmarble, and I hope they continue doing this with other characters that deserve it. There's a lot more characters that need this kind of buffing. For example, Dong Su and a few others who are in desperate need of usage. And I think Wu is a great example of something that they can take that's useless and mold it into something that's beautiful. All right, guys, this is Payne. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.